Stage 1. Born to die. You've just taken your first breath, and they're already trying to kill you. Not because of anything you did, not because of anything your parents did, just because of what you are. You're Hebrew. You're a boy. And right now, Pharaoh, the man who controls every army, every river, every grain of sand in the most powerful country on earth, has issued an order. Every Hebrew boy born gets thrown in the Nile. Day 1, and you're already on a list. Your mother hides you for 3 months. Think about what that means. A newborn baby. In a country where neighbors are watching neighbors, where soldiers show up at doors. 3 months she keeps you quiet, keeps you hidden, keeps you alive. When she finally can't anymore, she doesn't give you up. She builds a basket out of papyrus, waterproofs it with tar and pitch, places you inside, sets it in the reeds at the edge of the Nile, and she stands back and watches. Pharaoh's daughter comes down to the river to bathe. She finds the basket. She opens it. You cry. She looks at this crying Hebrew baby, and she keeps you. Your sister, who's been watching the whole time, walks up, says, real smooth, "You need a wet nurse? I know someone." The wet nurse they hire is your own mother. You are nursing from the woman who built you the basket, inside the palace of the man who ordered your death. Your family found a way to make this work. Stage 2. The Prince. You grow up in the most powerful place in the ancient world. You learn to read hieroglyphics, military strategy, combat. You're in excellent shape. You know how to fight. You're being built to rule an empire. Nobody asked you how you feel about that, but here you are. You speak Egyptian. You live Egyptian. But you know who you are. And every time you look outside these palace walls, your people are out there in the dirt. 600,000 Hebrew men building cities for Pharaoh. Backs bent, hands bleeding. Overseers walking the lines with whips. The quotas never go down. The beatings never stop. You've seen it. You've walked past it. You've said nothing. For about 40 years. Stage 3. The Murder. You go out to where your people are working. Not on official business, just to see them, to be near them. You watch an Egyptian overseer unloading on a Hebrew slave with everything he has. The man is going limp. This isn't a warning. This is a killing in progress. You look left, you look right. Nobody's watching. You kill him. You bury him in the sand right there. And you really hope nobody saw that, because that could complicate things significantly. The next day, you go back. 2 Hebrews are fighting each other. You step in to break it up. One of them stops, looks at you, and says, "Who made you the boss? You gonna kill me like you killed that Egyptian?" Somebody saw. Somebody always sees. Word gets to Pharaoh. An execution order goes out with your name on it. In one day, you go from next in line for the most powerful throne on earth to a wanted man. You acted on impulse. You didn't think it through. And now you run east through the Sinai with nothing but a head start and some regrets. Stage 4. Nobody. You end up in Midian. Dry, remote, as far from Egypt as your legs will carry you. You show up at a well with nothing. 7 sisters are trying to water their flock, and a group of shepherds keeps cutting in front of them. You are exhausted. You have no reason to get involved. You get involved. Their father, Jethro, invites you to stay. You stay. You marry his daughter, Zipporah. You have a son. You name him Gershom. I have been a stranger in a foreign land. You're not exactly subtle about how you're feeling. For the next 40 years, you tend sheep. Really sit with that. You were educated to run an empire. You speak multiple languages. You know how the most powerful court in the world operates from the inside. You can fight. You can lead. For 40 years, you follow sheep through the desert. The sheep are not impressed. Back in Egypt, the pharaoh who wanted you dead eventually dies. A new one takes the throne. Your people are still enslaved, still under the whip, still suffering. But nobody's hunting you. You are 80 years old. Stage 5, the burning bush. You're out with the flock near a mountain in the Sinai wilderness called Horeb. A bush is on fire. It's not burning up. You walk over to investigate because apparently this is your life now. A voice calls your name. Twice. It says it's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It says it's seen what's happening to your people in Egypt, heard them crying out. Then it says, I'm sending you back. You say no. Not once. You say no 5 times. To God. At a burning bush. Who am I to go to Pharaoh? What if they don't believe me? I can't speak well. Please, send anybody else. Every objection gets answered. Your staff turns into a snake. Your hand goes leprous and comes back clean. Your brother Aaron gets assigned to speak for you, which is either a blessing or a comment on your communication skills. You are completely out of excuses. At 80 years old, after 40 years of silence, 40 years of nobody knowing who you used to be, you pick up your staff and turn back toward Egypt. Stage 6, the return. You walk back into the palace you grew up in. You are 80 years old. You have a wooden staff. This is your plan. Let my people go. He says no. The Nile turns to blood. He says no. Frogs cover every surface in the country. He says no. Lice, flies, every head of livestock dead in the field. Boils breaking out on every body in Egypt. Hail tears the crops apart. Locusts eat what's left. 3 days of darkness so complete you can feel it. 9 times. No. This man is committed. The 10th plague moves through Egypt at midnight, takes the firstborn son from every household, including his. He doesn't say no this time. He says, get out. Take everyone. Tonight. 600,000 men, plus women, children, the elderly, livestock, everything, walk out of Egypt in a single night. Then he changes his mind. His entire chariot army rides out after you. You reach the edge of the sea. Water in front, army behind. Nowhere to go. You raise your staff. The sea opens. You walk across on dry ground. The army follows you in. The sea closes. You're standing on the other side, surrounded by people who were slaves this morning. Stage 7, the wilderness. 3 days of freedom. 3 days, and your people are already complaining. They're thirsty. The water is bitter. They're hungry. At least in Egypt we had food. Egypt, where they were slaves. They miss it. You give them bread that appears on the ground every morning. You give them meat. You pull water out of a rock. You climb a mountain and come back down 40 days later carrying the law of God written on stone tablets. At the bottom of the mountain, your people are dancing around a golden calf they built while you were gone. They did not wait long. You smash the tablets on the ground. You go back up. You write it again. This is your life for 40 years. Then one day, at a place called Meribah, your people are thirsty again, because of course they are. God tells you to speak to the rock. Just say the word. You've been doing this for 40 years. You're done. You've buried a generation out here. You grab your staff and you strike the rock. Twice. Hard. God says, because you didn't trust me enough, You're not going into the promised land. One moment. After the bush, after the plagues, after the sea, after 40 years of carrying these people on your back through the desert, one moment of losing your patience at a rock, that's the cost. Stage 8, Mount Nebo. The new generation is ready to cross the Jordan into Canaan. You're not going with them. God tells you to climb Mount Nebo. You climb. From the top, you can see the Jordan Valley stretching out below you. Jericho, the hills of Judah rolling south, the flat mirror of the Dead Sea, all the way to the coast, the full length of the land, end to end. Everything. Right there in front of you. God says, "This is the land I promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I have let you see it with your eyes. But you will not cross over into it." You die on Mount Nebo, 120 years old. God buries you somewhere in that valley. No tomb, no marker. Nobody knows exactly where. You freed a nation. You wrote its law. You walked it through the desert for 40 years. You don't get a grave anyone can visit. No monument. Nothing. 3,000 years later, your name is still the first one out of their mouths. You didn't need a monument. You became one.